Hey, awesome ones, I'm Heather.
And I'm Bill.
You know what, we thought we would do something a little bit different today. Totally unscripted. We just have kind of a theme, and it's like life after 50.
Yeah.
Whatever comes up. Bill's made one of his nice French pressed Bodum coffees that we're going to have here, and we're just going to go for a chit chat. You're welcome to join us, and it all starts in just a few seconds. So we came up with this idea because we went out to dinner on Friday, and I remember...
What a great dinner.
Yeah, you know what, guys? That's one of the things that we might as well just talk about that. Because you know what? This is totally off the cuff, and that's what happens with Bill and I. We've been together for over 22 years, but, you know, we just start talking, and what happened was we were at dinner, and we were talking, and then at one point I had to say to you, Bill, and I'm supposed to be the chatty one, right? But anyway, Bill had some story. It was a podcast that you saw that you really wanted to tell me about. Oh, about Conan. I remember now.
Yeah.
And he's going to get into this big story. I know it's going to be at least 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, Bill, can I just try a little bit of this?
You can try. She's a captive audience, and I can just keep talking, and you know she can eat. But what's the point you're trying to make on this?
The point is, well, of course, we just kind of have this banter back and forth, and we're always chatting to each other. And
do you remember what I used to do when I first met you?
Oh, tell them what you did.
Well, when I just met Heather, I mean, for the first couple dates, I was always worried, oh my God, we're going to be sitting at dinner and I'll have nothing to talk about, and she'll think I'm boring. So I'd take a little sticky, a little yellow sticky thing, and I'd write out in point form about 4 things I might want to talk about. No more than that, because let's face it, I'd forget it. Yeah. So, and then you know what? I never even talked about one of them.
Probably not, yeah. I remember the first time we had a conversation, and we talked about lasagna, and I was saying, how much I made lasagna, and it was a lot of work, and you would say, well, you know what, you got to try this frozen lasagna, and I tried it, and I went, wow, I can learn a lot about this from this guy, about frozen lasagna.
Well, that's one of my favorite foods, and I used to make it all the time, too. You go out, you buy all the ingredients, blah, blah, blah. And then one day when our grocery store, and I'm sure most grocery stores throughout the various countries have it now, it was like, wow, this is excellent. And it was good.
Yeah. We're kind of, now,
so that's changed.
Segue a little bit off of that, because that was 22 years ago. And these days we're not eating as much frozen food or processed food anymore. And I mean, I did that video on the air fryer, and if you haven't seen the video on the air fryer, you know what I'm going to do? In the end screen, I'm going to put the link to the air fryer, because as you get over 50, oh yeah, by the way, this video is about life after 50. But when you get over 50, you really got to say, oh, whoa, I got to really watch my health here. So we've been buying a lot better foods. We've been grocery shopping. I go to one grocery store with all the organic and the great, vegetables and fruits and meats, and you go to the other place where they've got the toilet paper and the paper towels and all that kind of thing.
And with food, I've said this to Heather, you discover new things as you go through life, and especially when you get over 50, there's just some things that I never tried or never thought existed or were good. Olives and food like that. I go, I've never eaten that before. And Heather would cook it up in something. I'd go, wow, what have I been missing for the last 50 years?
And that's another thing when we go to restaurants too. And again, we're going to be all over the place, guys. But when we went to this Italian restaurant, Italian bottle of red,
bottle of white, we only perhaps got a bottle of rosé instead.
Yeah, and we just got the red. But I ordered, as a bit of an appetizer, a little bowl of various olives that they had. Oh, I'm getting hungry. We should have done this later, but anyway. And they put this little bowl of marinated olives. Some of them were spicy, some of them were green, some of them were the darker olives. Oh, I am getting hungry. But anyway, and they served some wonderful bread with it, and they also had the balsamic vinegar and the olive oil, and we like to dine. we don't want to go out to dinner, and that's another thing. You made the reservation for 7:30.
Yeah, it was, I mean, sometimes you have to eat earlier. It depends when you've eaten last, but can I say why I like the 7:30?
Please.
I love booking around after 7 because then they're not turning the tables over again. Sometimes if you get there around 5:30, even 6, they're betting that you're going to be gone in an hour and a half. They turn that table over. And a good restaurant will not rush you, but sometimes that's in the back of my mind. So I know when we go for a later sitting, that's it. Let's take our time, just sip on the wine, and then, it's awesome.
It was great. And the other thing that we found is we didn't end up having dessert this time, but, and what Bill's talking about, especially on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and this was a Friday night, but what we opted to do was have the olives this time, and then we shared a Caesar salad, because their Caesar salads are so good at this restaurant, and we don't need a full Caesar salad when we're having a meal anymore.
Yeah, so over 50, you've got to adjust your food habits. I know I have, with sugar, smaller portions, and better quality food, because you guys deserve it. We deserve it.
And just to carry on with what I had there too, I had the a pesto, and
sorry about that.
That's okay. No, and you had your chicken parmesan, and I wanted to try something different, and that's another thing that I'm finding as I'm getting older is I just want to try something different on the menu. And next week we're going to maybe try it's Winterlicious here, which is a special time when all the restaurants have their discounts on.
Yeah, it's a fixed price in various levels depending which restaurant.
Yeah, and can you believe we're talking about a restaurant?
I don't think we've stopped talking about food.
But anyway, it was Bill's favorite subject is talking about food. But I think we're going to try something a little bit different. Of course, a restaurant we've never been to. And, try, if there's a chef special on the menu, go for the chef special, because he's really worked hard on it. And generally, whenever we do something like that, it's absolutely delicious. And
or even say, what does the chef recommend? I'll tell you, a lot of cases that gets back to the kitchen. So
yeah, absolutely. And anyway, so we ended up talking for 15 minutes going out to dinner on Friday, but that's the whole thing about these fireside chats, and I think we're going to have them every once in a while, and just to give you a little bit of a window into what we do and life over 50, and
Heather, sorry,
we can't talk about restaurants.
But also getting out, and Heather started this with me, and I think it's a great idea, is going out on a date every Friday.
Yeah.
And you might think by 50 you don't want to do that, but you know what? This is the perfect time to just solidify your relationship, and because usually it's just you, and in a lot of cases there may not be a significant other.
Yeah, but you can go out yourself and have that Friday to look forward to, whether you're going to a movie or whether you're going out for a bite to eat, or whether you're meeting friends after work. And I like Fridays because Friday Fun Day, I don't know, it's a really nice thing. But I did want to talk about a few other things.
Let's have it.
And now I kind of forgot what I was going to, but we wanted to talk about, the good, the bad, the ugly. And one of the things is that we have downsized, and that video is doing really well on downsizing.
The downsizing,
yeah. You know what? I'm going to put a link to that video at the end of this one as well, because it's our fastest growing video that we did. But we thought we're going to downsize. We're going to have a room for exercising. We're going to have a room for office. We're going to have a nice basement where we're going to set up a big screen TV and everything. And we have 4 kids, and they're all very independent and that sort of thing. But I'm going to tell you something. Unless you want to, I guess, don't get a 1-bedroom apartment, because our daughter is here right now. She lives about 4 hours away, but she's visiting right now. And we have a bed that comes, it's a single bed, and then we put it out there. Usually my little exercise bike is in that room, but we can make up a really nice space for her. And sometimes if there's more than one kid coming over to visit, we have another one that lives completely across the country. And I think it's really important because they're always going to be your kids. And, you know, when they come home, it's like a celebration. You don't want to put them up in a hotel. And that's just one of the things that I found that I thought we downsized. We went from like 5 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, but I'm really glad we got the 3 bedrooms and didn't just
one became an office, and you've got that little spare one it's a multi-purpose one. You know, it could be a exercise room, or it could be, you know, you put up the bed, the blow-up bed, whatever, and you just got that option, which is nice. So downsizing, but not minuscule.
Yeah, and I think that what you don't want to find out after you move into the 1-bedroom condo is the kids don't visit anymore, you know, because they've got to you've got to book them into a hotel, and, you know, I don't really like that, and I don't want to sleep, so I'm going to go over to my buddy's house and we'll pop by for an hour. And
they still might, but at least you have that option.
Yeah. So, you know, that's just one of the things that we found. And then I'm just going to touch on this for a minute. When you get in between, when you're in between, the children have grown up, they're still your kids, they still, like I said, they still come by, visit, still want that Christmas dinner and everything. That's in our house anyway. Yeah. But you're also in between, and Bill's mom is 95 now. And for those of you that we do have twice a day caretakers coming in to look after her, but she wants to stay in her own home. And for those of you that are out there, I think that I just my heart goes out to you. She's my mother-in-law, but I love her. We have moved within 2 minutes of her home. Bill's brother is also staying with her, and you know, his brother is autistic, but a very good level of autism, and so he can still be there for company, but in a moment's notice we've got to go. So for all of you that are going through being in between, really, the children, because sometimes the elderly, they start to have the needs of a child again. And, you know, my heart is going out to a lot of you, but love is love. And, you know, she really appreciates when we are there. And anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because that's something that happens over 50. And a lot of people think, oh, well, you know what, my parents are just fine. You know, they're fine and they're going to last forever. So I'm going to move to another country, and I'm going to just reside there and buy a big mansion or a house or a condo or whatever it is. It changes like that. You know, like it just seems like one day your parents were there. I lost my mom when I was in my 20s, but one day your parents were there, and then your dad was gone, and then your mom and your brother were there. And then your mother started showing some onset of Alzheimer's, and didn't it just seem to happen just like that? Yeah,
time's flying.
And we were 40 minutes away, and we just said, nope, we're going to downsize anyway. We're going to move the home to a smaller home close by to her within 2 minutes. So, you know, that's another thing that we found being over 50 is family. It's still there, and a lot of times you're needed.
Yeah.
So
bookends now, you know.
Yeah, and so the other thing I wanted to talk about is this is, if you've seen any of my Instagrams, and just go to Awesome Over 50 and you'll see the Instagrams, is I don't care about what a lot of people say anymore. It's something that happens, I think, when you get over 50. And again, long hair, don't care. Gray hair, don't care. Like we ditched the bottle of dye, didn't we? And all the treks to the hairdressers and getting my hair colored and everything else. And whoops, I almost knocked over your coffee there. But you know what? Like it's just kind of like you become your authentic self.
I think you have to. You know, especially over 50. It's gone are the days where you have to pretend, I think anyways. Just be comfortable in your own skin and your own fashion, and move forward and enjoy those special moments. Like at the beginning of this video, we talked about going out for dinner, and I savor those moments, not just because of the dinner, but of the actual moment. You know, who you're with, where you're at, or even if you're somewhere by yourself, just enjoy where you're at and just drink it in, because it goes quick.
And getting back to the hair thing, though, you know, it seems like we don't have to keep up with the Joneses anymore.
Although I do need a haircut as of this filming, but anyways.
But again, it's okay. You know, you guys are our friends. We really feel like we're just talking and you're just there, and that's the way we always feel on the videos. But, you know, like it's like, okay, Bill's hair, don't care. You guys are going to understand that. My hair, I didn't do a great big brushing of my hair because I wanted to just be natural. And I think that's one of the joys of being over 50 is that you kind of don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses anymore, or wearing like, for me anyway, Louis Vuitton shoes. And hey, that's nice for a lot of people, but I don't need to keep up with people. I don't need to show off, and I don't need to dye my hair anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to care, or you should, how you look, how you feel, how you come across to others, but you should just be comfortable in who you are, you know, if that makes sense.
And talking about who you are, you know what? I think we're going to have to grab that sleeping little dog over there because we've been yakking for quite some time already.
He's off camera right now directing us, eh?
Yeah. But go grab him, and we'll just sort of finish up this video for everybody and maybe talk about upcoming videos that we might have. You know, we weren't even too sure if we were going to keep this video channel going, Awesome Over 50 Inspiration, but thanks to a lot of you, we've decided, you know what? There are enough of you watching, and hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, there's a button down there, and click on the bell and come on over and subscribe to us.
But you know what I like about this channel, Heather, is it's so different. There's not just one subject we talk about. You know, we branch off on different things. Sometimes we'll be in London and Paris, or we'll be talking about food and fun lists, and there's just so many things. It's just I just love it. Well,
it's kind of our lifestyle on camera. I'm not too sure if I want to call it a reality show, but you know, we'll go grocery shopping. We'll go, we got to do a video on that, or right now, you know, like I said, we went out to dinner and we got to do a video just like Canada, just yakking to each other, and whatever, food, fun, travel, jaunts, whatever we come up with. And you know, over at the other channel, which is Awesome Over 50 in YouTube, I'm talking about fashion and skincare and makeup and all of that sort of thing. There's a lot of tutorials and how-tos, but if you just want to sort of really not learn it, that doesn't sound right, don't learn anything, but not learn anything, but just sort of sit back and just watch. You know, we usually are having a lot of fun then. You know, we love that. But
I'm looking forward to another one of these fireside chats, and maybe we'll have a different theme or subject that we can talk to you about.
Or maybe it'll just be, you know, fireside chat 2.0 or something, you know, whatever is off the cuff. And we just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who join us every week. You know, we see how many views we're getting, and it is enough to keep going. We never know, like sometimes we just we had to close up the podcast because that wasn't really working, but you know, we hope to keep this going for you, and we hope to enlighten you with a little bit of fun, food, travel, and we really hope that we're helping you to keep it awesome.
Keep it awesome.